Hey guys,
Hey,
what's
what's
going on?
up?
It's Stephanie.
This is Andre.
Welcome to the Table for Four podcast live session.
Last session.
Number seven.
Number seven.
What's going
Number
on?
7. We're in March.
Number 7. What's going on? Welcome to the live sessions with the podcast, and we're here to talk about different stories and topics in the headlines for the week and everything else in between. Thank you for adjusting my mic.
You're welcome.
I'm just trying to figure out the positioning of this mic because sometimes I'm too loud.
So come a little closer.
I'll come a little closer to you. Does that work a little bit better? Wait, let me see. Let me adjust it. Does that look better? Does that sound better?
Sound better.
Sounds better. Excellent. Now that we have settled that, how's everybody doing?
We're doing good.
Let's talk about topics of the week. We're going to talk about Silicon Valley bank collapse. Now, what does this mean for us? It means absolutely nothing. No, I'm kidding.
Unless you're a startup,
Unless you
tech startup living in Cali.
You are a tech startup company that has a lot of capital sitting on it and just money that you don't not have access to.
Yep.
There's a brief story on Instagram. We could share that with you from one of the podcasts I follow. It's a female startup, and it's she breaks it down for us exactly the situation. If you can just bring up that clip.
Economy of startups. So here's a quick recap on everything that went down, what's happening to the $200 billion in limbo, and why it's so bad. Firstly, this is the most traumatic financial event that's happened to us since 2008, and certainly the biggest in terms of our generation of entrepreneurs. So what's SVB and why is it impacting startups right now? Silicon Valley Bank is the go-to gold standard bank in America that supports entrepreneurs and founders across a variety of industries. They claim to be the bank for nearly half of all American VC-backed startups. Think about all your favorite CPG brands, media companies, huge tech businesses like Shopify, everyone. Every single brand that you can think of that's raised money, half of those are probably using SVB. This is really fucking bad. Okay, so what happened? So earlier this week, there were signs of trouble and people started taking out their money en masse. They had about 50% of their money invested in treasury bonds, and because interest rates have been going up, the value has been going down. So they can't afford to pay out all the money being withdrawn. Let's say you're a founder and you've just gone out and raised millions of dollars in capital and you put that money into your SVB account. Now your account is frozen and you don't know what the status of that money is. The real problem, payroll goes out every week. You have to pay your staff, you have to pay your vendors. Where are you gonna get that money? Basically overnight, your money's disappeared. FDIC insures up to $250,000, but less than 3% had under that $250,000 limit, leaving approximately $196 billion in limbo. The observers and the experts out there are saying this devastating news could literally wipe out our...
There you have it.
I'm just shaking my head.
That's just a brief description. We have another video of kind of summarizing what really happened. You know, it was more to it than just what she said.
No, there is, but I think she broke it down magnificently, because trying to understand the whole complexity with FDIC and insurance coverage, VC venture capital, all this can be very complex, but she broke it down in a way that we can understand, and it's very simple. Simply what happens is there's not enough money for people to withdraw. That's it.
No, there is money to withdraw, but you can only up to 200.
It's not liquidated.
It's not right.
They don't have access to it.
Right. It takes a while. My money's in there, but it takes a while for them to get it. That's what they tell you. It takes like 3 days for them to come.
Oh, is that same joke that with Kevin Hart is like
the way my bank account set up.
My bank account set up. I gotta take it, withdraw, take 2 to 3 days. 2 to 3 days to take out my money. So this is exactly the case. What's going on with the Signature Valley, Silicon and Signature Valley.
It's no Signature Bank in
Signature
New York.
Bank and
Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, New York.
All the S's got me all twisted.
But with Signature Bank, it wasn't a result of this. It was a result of this, but it wasn't of the backing. It was a lot of these companies that have their accounts there were getting scared, so they started withdrawing all the money out.
I'd be scared too.
Yeah, so then that caused the FTC to take over the Signature Bank also. So now these banks are still in service, but now they're regulated by the FDIC. And I went to one of their websites to the bank, and now it says it It's called a bridge bank.
Explícame.
I'm gonna show you right now. It says Silicon.
Okay, so if we're thinking about a lot of tech companies, a lot of larger media companies, things like that, they have invested into Silicon Valley Bank. And what happens is these people do not have, $100,000, $200,000. These are people that have millions and millions of dollars. Okay. It's not, chump change. So of course, with Signature, everybody's withdrawing because I'm like, yo, you got my money.
Yeah.
Where is that? I need it because I don't know what you're going to do with it. But that's the thing. It's risky when, especially investing into bonds. Bonds, especially. I know when my mom used to invest in bonds.
It wasn't risky. It's the most safest. It's supposed to be the safest one because those bonds are pretty much bought at low interest rate, and because the rates have been going up,
skyrocketed.
They're worth pretty much nothing.
Basura.
So it says Silicon Valley. Here's the website right here. It says Silicon Valley Bridge Bank, North America. It's a newly created, full-service, FDIC-operated bridge bank. The bank is open for business, and new and existing depositors have full access to their money and protection for their deposit. So that's what the FDIC did was. Let me just a minute. Let me close this off. What the FDIC did was insure them the $250,000 for withdrawals, but they also insured them that they will have access to all of their money. So that which is good. So they didn't lose their money. Okay. A lot of these customers.
But that's the fear. If you don't have access to your money, then like where my money at? Yep. Better have my money. That's where the understanding is.
And there was only 3% of their customers that had under 250,000.
3%.
Under 3%.
Under. So imagine.
So 97% had over 250,000.
Yeah.
And that include tech companies, tech workers, employees.
Like,
so these guys are making bank in California.
Well, they ain't making bank if they don't have access to it.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that with this collapse, again, it's just reminiscent of what happened back in 2008, where they had these malicious bank loan lending.
Washington Mutual.
And then people cannot afford to pay their mortgages. So these people are taking their houses are being taken away because they just simply couldn't. It's predatory. That was really what it is. So I don't know if this incident or this, this, I don't know what to call it anymore. It's just like, it's not misleading. It's not misinformation, but President Biden was talking about the people that the CEOs or the people that were in charge in Silicon Valley. They're going to be in big trouble. They're going to be held responsible for making some bad management decisions. That's basically what they were saying. Like, you went ahead and you invested into these bonds without really taking a look at that. I don't know. If you
technically the bonds were the most stable bonds there are.
Yeah, we've already mentioned that before. But again,
this is all panning down to the pandemic. Because everything started increasing, inflation is up.
Yeah, but this again,
but
this didn't happen overnight. They've been suffering bad quarters for the last year and a half. Right.
The CEO is getting in trouble because he withdrew his money 3 days before it was announced.
He did a Martha Stewart.
Yep. Like, so that if you do that right there, that comes down to what is called. I used to work for the bank. What is called? It's like insider trading.
Insider trading. I was waiting for you to say it. I was like, they did a little Martha Stewart. It was like, you know how that time that they were talking about that joke. It was like, psst, psst, Martha, listen.
Yo,
take your money out because it's about to go down.
Exactly. So we got another video kind of fully explaining it. We're going to watch that right now. Let's see.
A rough week for the banking industry.
The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. The second biggest bank collapse in U.S. history.
The Silicon Valley Bank collapsed on March 10 after a run on deposits doomed the tech-focused lenders' plans to raise fresh capital. This prompted US regulators to step in with emergency measures, including seizing another bank 3 days later, in a bid to ease fears that depositors might pull their money from other lenders. WSJ banking reporter Rachel Ensign explains how this crisis unfolded and what could happen next.
During the pandemic, Silicon Valley Bank had gotten all of these deposits. Their deposits tripled. It was a huge influx. And they did what banks do. They took some of the deposits and made loans, but they also invested a lot of them in securities, which are pretty safe. Some issues had been bubbling under the surface at Silicon Valley Bank since the Federal Reserve started raising rates. When rates rose, the bonds fell in value. It's not a big problem for you unless you have to go and sell the bonds. But deposits started leaving the bank faster than they anticipated. And they had to sell their bonds and take a very big loss. The bank made an announcement on Wednesday night that it needed to raise capital and was planning to do that the next day. The investors completely freaked out, sold off the stock, and then a bank run started where people tried to withdraw $42 billion in deposits just in that one day. And by Friday morning, it was seized by regulators. The regulators have responded in a way that they're hoping stems the panic. The Fed said, we're going to be offering this lending facility that's a backstop. We're going to be insuring all of the deposits effectively of this bank that failed. The collapse matters because it could have broader economic effects. There was the risk that this panic would spread to other parts of the banking system.
100%.
We saw some really significant news with some of the banks that investors were most concerned about last week. Most notable, Signature Bank, a New York-based bank, was also seized on Sunday night. It is the third largest bank failure in U.S. history. And First Republic put out a statement saying they'd gotten some extra money from the Federal Reserve and also from JP Morgan.
That's it.
They're hoping that
It's over.
reassures their investors and their depositors. The key thing to watch for is the panic over? That's the big question. Do people stop pulling their money out? Do investors and customers are they reassured in the way that the government would like them to be?
Yeah, what she said. Here's my thing, right? I feel like this is what it is. Everybody's in the same boat, right? It's like if you have money and then you put your money or you put your trust in the bank to make sure that they safe keep your money, and then you'll be able to have access and withdraw it whenever you feel like it. And apparently this happens, you're screwed.
So do we have to resort to old ways now?
Put that under your bed.
Well, I'm about to start telling my employer, yo, give me a check instead of a direct deposit.
Yep, give me a straight check.
I want physical cash
I
money.
want cash money. I want it liquidated. Put it under my bed and just leave it there for safekeeping.
Mattress.
Like it's
Shoeboxes, mattress.
It's like, I don't know. If you have no money, then you have nothing to worry about because you have nothing to withdraw. So you're screwed just as well. So you damned if you have money, damned if you don't money. But if you don't have any money, but I'd rather be damned and have money, but just not access to it. Which problem would you want?
Yeah, it's just
I don't know. But I mean, typically, are bonds really safe? Yes. Are they really valuable? I mean, in a sense, yes. But just everything is just risky. Everything's just risky.
But this bank's been around since 1983.
They've been around for 40 years. So they must have been doing something right. But I just feel bad that you have companies that are starting up that are trying to do their best and they're saving this money and they're doing whatever they can. And then now they can't pay their employees. I'm like, come on.
Right, it says founded in 1983 after a poker game, Silicon Valley Bank was an important engine for the tech industry's success and the 16th largest bank in the U.S. before its collapse. It's easy to forget based on the tech industry's lionization of nerds. But the actual fuel for startup is money, not brains.
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah. Silicon Valley Bank provided that fuel, working closely with many venture capitalists, backup startups that claim to be the financial partner of the innovative economy and the go-to bank for investors.
So this is a very important bank in sense of when it comes to startups and things of that manner. But again, I mean, either way, there were people that are scared. They don't want to lose their money. It's hard enough to keep your money. I would be ready to take it out too. I'm like, I don't got much, but I keep it with me.
Take out my $500.
Take out my 500.
That's it.
That's it, and not leave it with you. I mean, I don't know. It's a shame, but hopefully with this bridge bank, it'll be able to alleviate some of the fears that these banks can cause, and just
Yeah.
stomach acid and all this, like upset stomach and everything. Just coronaries all around. But jeez.
Just imagine you going to the bank and trying to withdraw your money, and meanwhile, especially if you're like rich and your mortgage is like $4,000 or maybe $10,000 a month, you can't take out nothing out.
All right, define the word rich, because you could be rich in life or you could be rich in money. Which rich are you referring to?
Rich in money. Rich in money.
In money, dinero, green stuff.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. Because everything is all digital currency now. Everything it's you don't really see cash in hand anymore.
Right.
All you see is numbers in your account.
Right. And I think the pandemic kind of solidified that as well, because a lot of people were not, sharing money, and then they weren't worried about the virus being on the cat. I don't know.
No cash handling.
Cash handling and everything of that matter. So it's just like
exact payment only.
Yeah,
we saw that a lot.
I need pennies. Like that. Like, you don't got pennies. I need pennies. I don't know. It's just all very scary when it comes to like just in your money, your investment, and just like your livelihood. A lot of these people, again, they mentioned that payroll still has to be done. Like, credit cards don't care if they pay you a day or two late. They don't care. Like, you're late.
That's it.
So there's no leeway.
But when it's time for them to give you a refund, they take like forever.
They take forever.
They're quick to take your money, but it takes forever to pay you back.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, don't forget, file your taxes due by April 15th. If you need your services, just go and do it. Try. If you don't know how to do it, go to a professional. Please don't get screwed over in the year, because there's a lot of people that don't know what's going on, a lot of new laws and things like that. Just try to get your affairs in order so you don't have to pay out of pocket at the end of the year. Go to a professional. Oh my goodness. It just gets me mad. It just gets me mad. Like, I don't know. It is what it is.
A little quick side note. Season 4 is out. Check out our link up here. QR code it. Boom.
Did I miss it?
There you go. There it
is.
So season 4 is out today. Episode 1, a parent's guide to internet safety for your kids.
For everybody. So we sat down. We had a conversation with our kids about internet safety, about the Roblox scandal. Mm-hmm.
What else we talk about? The TikTok banning.
The possibility of it.
I
think it's a real thing that might happen. But
what else we did? What was we talking about?
We went over the family contract. So a family contract.
Tech contract.
So what happens is it just has a few simple rules to kind of help navigate, through the World Wide Web. So if you have a chance, go check that out. Check it. My finger. Check it out.
There you go. Boom. There it is.
So when I'm moving on to the next story, sad story, really. It's really about the follow-up of Junior's murder case. And if you're not familiar about this story, it was a murder of Alessandro Guzman Feliz that happened back in 2018, back in June. It was a 15-year-old that he was brutally killed by a member of the gang of Triangles. Trinitarios, right? So what happened was, it was the case of mistaken identity. That was really what the case was really based on. So this poor kid, he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. But apparently, all the members or all the suspects that were involved in this case that were connected were all arrested. But one in particular member was, I forgot the gentleman's name. I think it was one of the
Martinez Estrella.
Martinez Estrella, right?
Conviction of Jonaki Martinez Estrella.
Jonaki Martinez Estrella. So he was the gentleman that was
that
had the fatal
blow.
It was a fatal blow to Junior that ultimately was the cause of his demise and his death. So apparently the first degree murder charge conviction was thrown out because of creative language. Now, when I say creative language, I want you to take a look at the clip that kind of explains a little bit more exactly what that means.
This is a nightmare.
Leandra Feliz describing her reaction Thursday evening after learning a New York State appellate court overturned the first-degree murder conviction of the man who delivered the fatal stab wound to her late son Junior in 2018. In 2019, a jury convicted Trinitarios gang member Jonaki Martinez Estrella of first and second-degree murder for his role in helping to chase down and then fatally stab Junior in the neck in what prosecutors say was a case of mistaken identity. But Thursday's appellate decision hinges on the legal definition of first-degree murder, which requires in part that, quote, the defendant acted in an especially cruel and wanton manner pursuant to a course of conduct intended to inflict and inflicting torture upon the victim prior to the victim's death. The 5-judge appellate panel found, quote, that blow was a single act rather than a course of conduct. Estrella's attorney telling Pix 11 News, quote, the appellate division did what the law required. There was simply no evidence that could have possibly satisfied the elements of first-degree murder on the theory of torture.
He killed my son. They are gang member. They are criminals. I couldn't breathe.
Just that story.
So here's where we at. So to my understanding, right, the way that the legality or the words that were put together creatively, that the
Wrong one.
it's not even the right one.
No, it's the wrong one. My bad.
But I don't have a presentation.
No, we have it. We have the.
I don't have a presentation.
Another presentation. The court document.
The court document is for Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. My bad. That's the next one. Because it kind of relates in terms of like wording.
It does. But I'm just like, what are you pulling up?
I'm sorry, my bad.
But what happens is the legality, which is the term that you use, is the consensus of conduct, right? So the consensus of conduct has a legal definition stating that the actual act was not considered torture because it was considered a single blow.
Right.
So if he would have stabbed him twice, would that have considered torture? Right? So when using creative language in the legal sense, their lawyers, whoever was on this case,
found the loophole.
He found the loophole. That's exactly what happened. So I don't know if it was a judge that was simply based on the definition of first-degree murder that only particularly focused on that word.
So him getting not beat up before running into the store, that's not torture?
Him not being chased?
Him not being chased, does that not count as torture?
I don't understand what is the definition of that. Point blank. My man stabbed him. He was chased. 14 people were involved in this case. Okay? The mother now has to suffer now the saying that the people that caused this crime and the people that caused the death of her son is apparently not going to go to jail because of the technicality, because of the way that the definition is given by the legal system. Like, yeah, that could be kidding me.
The comments are crazy. The comments are like, the system failed JR, failed us, failed his friends and family. The next one was the gang threatened the judge or what?
I mean, that's what it boils down to.
That's horrible. That judge is twisted. Investigation is needed right away. How did he just change the verdict
like that?
That's fishy.
Exactly. So just thinking about this change of events that all of a sudden the charges are dropped, there's video evidence that this was done.
Yep.
Like, what's the conversation? What is the question? That's not confusion. My confusion is what is the confusion? A crime was committed, take his butt to jail. Yep. End of story.
That's it.
I mean, does it make the difference between how long he serves? No. Put him on a chair. Do something. He doesn't need to be out free in the streets. End of story. He doesn't need to be out in the streets. No. So my heart breaks for his mom, and having this story out, and it was a big deal. Like, I remember back in the summertime, this was a big story, and we're in 2023 and we still can't even convict the people that are responsible for his death. 5 years. Let me count that. Let me see. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Am I doing the math right?
It's going on 6 years now.
It's going to go on 6 years.
Man. So it's been
So this was pre-pandemic that this happened, and we still haven't come to a resolution yet? Well, what does that say to you?
Our system is antiquated. A lot of things need to get revised.
The banks need to get revised. The court system.
But think about it. But what's the first thing that they're revising? If you think about it, it's a whole different topic. It's a whole different
I don't
topic.
know, you tell me, but I don't know. I'm at a loss right now because just hearing that, it just makes me angry. It just makes me angry. If I was his mom and my child did that, you had to catch me. You had to catch me. Because no. I don't know what the confusion is. But the next story I want to talk about is with Buffalo Wild Wings. Now, again, we're talking about Buffalo Wild Wings aren't really wings. Again, This is how creative language come into suit. So let's take a quick clip at the story for the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Class action lawsuit accuses Buffalo Wild Wings of conducting, quote, deceptive business practices, claiming its boneless wings are just chicken nuggets. The plaintiff accuses the chain of false and deceptive marketing and advertising. He says the boneless wings are not made from wing meat at all, but rather from pieces of deep-fried chicken breast. When reached for comment, the company pointed to its Twitter post, and it reads this way. It's true. Our boneless wings are all white meat chicken. Our hamburgers contain no ham. And our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo.
Is this the Onion? What are we doing?
It's like
What's
Weekend
happening?
Update.
Yeah, what's happening here? Wait, let me tell you something. Chicken nuggets sound better than wings to me.
I was going to say, that's right up your alley.
Oh,
Lord.
Some folks have a lot of time on their hands,
so
apparently.
the wing news is over.
Wing news is over. Carson's got Pop Star coming up. President Biden.
Okay. Can we discuss this? Okay, so with creative language, we have a court document.
Yeah, this is the court document.
This is the court document that we wanted to show you. So I think it's on page 2. If you can, I'm going to read it for you. Hold on. You got it? Let's see.
Page 2?
Yeah, I believe it's on page 2. So, okay. So, not because of this ridiculous.
What number is it?
It's just so stupid. Okay. So, all right. Specifically, the name and this description of the products, i.e. boneless wings, led reasonable consumers to believe that the products were actually chicken wings. In other words, that the products are chicken wings that have been simply deboned and are comprised of entirely chicken wing meat. Unbeknownst to the plaintiff and other consumers, the products are not wings at all, but instead slices of chicken breast meat, deep fried like wings. Indeed, the products are more akin in composition to a chicken nugget rather than a chicken wing. So here it says this is a clear-cut case of false advertising that should not be permitted, as consumers should be able to rely on the plain meaning of a product's name and receive what they are promised. So the consumers value actual wings, where the defendant said they had no valid reason for misleading consumers other than to promote a cheaper product among its actual chicken wings. So here's the creative words in here. It talks about the product, which is called boneless chicken. So instead of them saying boneless wings, they should have just said
boneless chicken.
Boneless chicken.
But I kind of figured like we all knew it was like, because we sometimes we order boneless wings from like Domino's all the time,
right? But
and you kind of know it's white meat.
But are they chicken nuggets? Are they?
Well, you can call it popcorn chicken.
Are they? No, popcorn chicken are a little smaller.
Exactly. So they were like,
no. But these are like chicken chunks or slice of white meat. or something to that effect. But I'm talking about just the creative language that because it was a boneless wing, that it should have not wing in it. But because it's white meat, they're not considering it using wing meat.
Right. They want dark meat.
They want the
they
dark
want
meat.
it deboned and then into a meat, like a.
Right.
I don't know. People sue for anything nowadays.
Yo, when I read this, I was like, and I said, I gotta look at this court document. I gotta look at this, and I'm looking, and I'm like, wow. Terms of falsely advertisement.
But remember, this is not the only case in the history of suing fast food chains.
Wait a minute, you have the picture of the Twitter page of that photo.
Which one?
The one it's all the way at the bottom. It's all the way at the bottom. Yeah, you passed it right there. It is true.
Hold on.
It is true.
Our boneless wings are all white meat chicken. Our hamburger contains no ham. Our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo.
Because that right there, they're mocking the simple fact is that you cannot take everything so freaking seriously. We understand that we're here. We're marketing. This is how fast food is.
Yeah, but like, you got to understand. Sometimes people win on all these technicalities. There's people that have won cases like this.
Like what?
Like well, we got a list here.
What's the
you want to see our list?
What is that? What is this? What is this?
We got a list.
Hold on.
I got to share this tab. 14 ridiculous reasons people sued fast food chains. Number 1. Was the hot coffee mislabeling or label?
Tell me about that case. I remember that case.
The lady this was in 1992. A 79-year-old. Her name is Stella Lieback. She went to McDonald's to get a cup of coffee. Her coffee spilled, and apparently she got burnt. So apparently she won. She sued the company for not having a label, coffee,
right?
For saying hot coffee.
On the cup. As a warning.
She won.
She did win.
And she won. She did.
Wow.
She said, it's certainly easy to make the hot coffee was hot. No way. Joke wasn't talking about the hot coffee lawsuit, but it was more a serious matter than criticism suggests. She suffered 3rd-degree burns that required skin grafts and ended up suing McDonald's after they neglected to reimburse her $10,000 medical bill. So despite his notoriety, it really wasn't that ridiculous, especially when compared to other seriously wacky and petty fast food lawsuits. And if you want to know more, click on this link. All right. So I was just reading. I'm sorry. I was just.
Why do you do that? You crack me up when you do that. So okay.
But apparently, she won millions of dollars because of this. And that's why we have now. It's in the cup. It's in yellow lettering. It says, and it has like a question mark. It says hot coffee. Warning. Hot coffee.
Hot coffee. So okay. I'm sorry that she got the 3rd-degree burns because
coffee is hot.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be scalding hot. That's like the same thing. Like people get hot water boils and get into the skin. Like accidents happen and things of that manner, But at a restaurant, you're gonna assume that the coffee is hot, but not scalding hot, not for 3rd-degree burns.
Yep, there's more. There's more under the list. You got number 2, the tuna travesty in Subway. A person sued Subway because they said that it wasn't real tuna in the tuna salad.
What was it?
Well, apparently he had he tested the tuna with different companies and all of them came inconclusive. So he still continues to sue them. Subway came out and said that it is tuna, and then another lab said that when you mix tuna with other ingredients, you kind of lose the DNA of the meat when you mix it with the ingredients.
So it is an issue with mislabeling or misleading with the type of product you are selling.
Right, and then once then Subway went ahead and changed it. Instead of saying 100% tuna, it said 100% sustainably caught skipjack and yellowfin tuna, or 100% tuna when it's not 100%. And then the same person ended up doing another test in Ireland and determined that their bread. Oh no, they did another test in the New York Subway, and it contained DNA. It did contain DNA of a tuna, so there was tuna in the tuna salad. So it was just like a whole bad press. So the guy sued, but they dropped the case, and then another person sued in Ireland for saying that the bread had too much sugar to be called bread.
Wait, so let's go back really quickly in just trying to understand the purpose of these suits. So the lawsuits really boils down to people of misleading information. That's what it's about, the use of clever wording, clever language.
Yeah.
Like, you're misleading, we're giving what I was just thinking about it. I'm like, what?
Listen, there's more. I have to show you guys this. Like,
oh my God.
Then McDonald's for the McNugget madness. This one, in this story, the customer sued McDonald because he chipped a tooth while eating a nugget, and because it was bone, there was a piece of bone in the chicken nugget, so he sued him for saying that it was not boneless. There was a piece of bone in the chicken nugget. He bit into it and he fractured 2 teeth, and he sued McDonald's for $1.1 million. But I don't think it went anywhere.
Okay. How badly did he chip his tooth?
They said it had 2 fractures on the tooth, so he had to get it fixed.
No, his teeth were broken.
So, but McDonald wanted to know.
His
proof.
teeth were broken before he bit into that nugget. So he had faulty teeth to begin with, and then went ahead and put the blame on McDonald's. Next, I don't want to hear that.
Next one, Taco Bell. They sued Taco Bell for the pricing of the $5 box. So their total was $12.18 before tax. So they claimed it to be false advertising. But then Taco Bell, when it went to court, Taco Bell pretty much stated that prices may vary was in the commercial. So they lost. This one was
so if it's $5 the box, there's a $5 for the box and then tax. So it's almost like what?
Yeah, but this was $12.18 before tax, so it was more with taxes. So these customers were suing for gas, the commute there, time wasted. Yeah, I'm serious. I am serious. The next one is Starbucks.
Y'all people out there are petty. Okay, y'all got nothing else better to do.
Someone sued Starbucks for having too much ice in cups. So they lost the case because Starbucks pretty much said we could always re-prepare your drink, and the judge threw out the case.
I don't even know how it even got onto to what they call
this one is my favorite.
Wait! I gotta go back to Starbucks. I don't even understand how it even got in the docket. That's wrong. How did I even get to the docket?
I would have seen this thrown out. Get this out of my face.
I didn't even get to the docket. Yo, this is
they were suing that they were not getting enough ratio of coffee because it was too much ice in there.
Stop it. No.
This next one. This is my favorite one out of all of these, out of the 15. The guy was suing. He sued McDonald's for marketing Happy Meals to children. He said Happy Meals that are basically synonymous with kids meal. It's a little more complicated than that, but not much. So the guy, he's from Canada. He said he's a regular at the McDonald's. He ended up bringing one of his kids to him to the visit. So his complaint was the Happy Meal advertisements were deliberately situated right at children's eye level. So with their collectible toys in full display, so his kid would naturally start begging for a Happy Meal so that they could get a new toy. So now the dad, he felt pressured.
I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. I'm waiting.
So he felt pressured that he had to buy his kid a Happy Meal. But not by his kids, but by McDonald's.
Okay, can we talk about this?
Yeah, we can, because apparently there are laws that you're not supposed to. It says Canada does have a law prohibiting advertising to children under 13.
That's complete BS. I need to go look into
it says there are exceptions for store windows, children magazines, and advertisements for live kid-oriented shows. So the dad claimed that McDonald's did not count as one of these exceptions. McDonald's claimed that it did. A Quebec judge declared the suit valid, but no ruling has been reached yet. So this is a current one.
Espérate. What is the purpose of advertising McDonald's, right? The children can't really purchase the meals themselves, right? Right? Is that?
Yeah, they can. If we give one of our kids money, he could go order it.
Okay.
But the whole point was like instead of having it at like a nice decent height, they had it at a kid friendly height. So that's the first thing they see when they go to McDonald's.
That is the genius of marketing.
Right.
Well, I don't understand how is it that you cannot directly market to children under the age of 13? You do it every day. TVs, social media, billboards. It doesn't have to be at eye level. Like, it's just so happens that they have the display there. Why do you think they use certain colors? Right? They use bright colors. They use nice lettering. They use different terms. That's how they attract. That's genius marketing. My man said he felt pressure to buy a $4.99 Happy Meal, and he wants to bring a lawsuit that might cost millions for his lawyers and stuff. Are you kidding me? Why is it on the docket? What? Why is it on the docket? I don't get it.
It's just, the list goes on and on. One of them was Wendy's. They found a fingerprint in the chili. But it turns out that they're the ones that did it. They were trying to sue Wendy's for money.
So they were trying to be
and apparently
funny.
They lost for like larceny or something, and then they ended up doing jail time because of this. For trying to like. And then the next one was Dunkin' Donuts. Somebody sued Dunkin' Donuts for not having steak on their Angus steak breakfast sandwich.
Oh, the bagel sandwich.
Yeah, so it wasn't. They said it wasn't really steak. It was just regular beef, a beef patty, like. So they sued that. Another one was McDonald's. Hold the cheese. This one is a person sued McDonald's in Florida for $5 million after noticing a menu claim that they weren't happy with, and that claim was they used to have the quarter pounder with cheese and a quarter pounder with no cheese.
Right.
So now it's just a quarter pounder with cheese on the menu.
Okay.
So they're suing because since they don't eat cheese, the option is not on the menu anymore. But I'm like, you could just ask them, I don't want cheese.
You could just tell them, hold the cheese.
But it's a price difference. So that's like a 90-cent price difference if you have it with cheese. But that when you buy the regular one with cheese, they still charge you the same price as with cheese with no cheese. So the judge ruled it out.
I see.
The judge threw it out because they were like, McDonald's is like, it's on the menu. If you look at on the kiosk, it's still there. It might not be like invisibly or there, but it's still in the options. So that was thrown out.
Okay.
And then another one, they sued Krispy Kreme for not saying there weren't any fruits in any of their donuts.
Run that by me,
There were no fruits in the jam or anything. He was like me. I like to order the raspberry glazed donut.
Okay. There was no fruit.
Right. So his basis was that there was no actual fruit in the filling itself.
Oh, so like
everything was artificial.
So if it was strawberry jam, there wasn't
right. He expected like strawberry, some remnants of strawberry in it. So people sue for anything.
I'm over here just shaking my damn head. Are you
so yeah,
serious?
guys.
But guys, you must find better ways to spend your time. Seriously, go read a book, go take a walk, ride a bike. Do something else. There's more important things to do with your time. I promise you. I promise. One of those things is listening to podcasts, and our podcast is one of them. That's what you could do. That's basically what you guys could do. But guys, this is Stephanie.
This is Andre.
And this is Table for Four live sessions. Oh man, don't forget to listen, follow, like, and share on Table for Four on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and especially on where else? Where else can they find us?
Instagram, YouTube. Facebook, TikTok. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google. We're on 16 different platforms.
We're on 16 different platforms. So if you can find us, put in Table for Four, you'll find us. We'll be dropping videos every Wednesday. We'll be dropping videos, emails, all that stuff, and keep you up to date with all the content. But if you want to be part of the live sessions, let me know. We'll have a conversation. We'll talk whatever you want to talk about and anything in the headlines and everything else in between. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. And we will see you on the next live session.
Take care, guys.
Take care, y'all. Bye.